Hello, this is my Crazy Ex channel. Please subscribe.
F37 thinking of cheating on husband. M45 due to sexless marriage. Syrie12. TL. Dr. M thinking of cheating on my husband due to timeless marriage, with a coworker. M thinking of cheating on my husband. I've been married for 7 years, everything is great except we have a timeless marriage. He just doesn't seem interested anymore and won't talk about what is causing this issue. It didn't start out like this, we used to go at it 2-3 times a day. I expected time to slow down with time and life, but not to be completely non-existent. The last time we had time was about 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. I could tell it was such a chore for him that I just lost my mood. I started to have a low self-esteem because I wondered if maybe my husband wasn't attracted to me anymore or cheating. I became obsessed with my body and nitpicking my looks. For reference, I'm an average size woman who actively work out and started losing so much weight that my family and friends had to intervene. I'm embarrassed to share with my close GFS or family because they really love my husband and they have the impression that we are okay. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm really trying to not resent my husband. Recently I switched job and met a man, let's call him Joe. Joe and I became really close working together during the pandemic. He's currently going through a divorce and is understanding of my marital situation. I am attracted to him and the feeling is mutual. Lately we've been flirting a lot with each other and he invited me to stop by his place anytime I needed to talk. We kind of both know that if I did stop by his place, it would be more. I'm scared to cross that line and mess up my relationship, but I want to be intimate with a man who wants me and I didn't sign up for a no-time marriage. Also, even though Joe is a great guy, we both are not looking to be in a relationship with each other due to our circumstances. It would be strictly physical. Is this normal to feel conflicted like this? Is the reward worth the risk? If anyone has found themselves in a timeless marriage, how did you overcome it? Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. Sounds like it's time to force your husband to talk about it or get divorced. If you're thinking of cheating, that means relationship is done. Edit. P.S. You're already emotionally cheating on your husband. So if you do decide to talk, you need to tell him. Or again, divorce and be with someone who can give you sex. Redditor follow up. Absolutely. Need to sit down and have a talk. Be direct with your husband, and communicate that you care about him, but you absolutely need to be with someone willing to have sex. Redditor 2. My God. If you have guts to even consider cheating on your husband, then you have the guts to file a divorce. Redditor 3. Once you are a cheater, that is something that will define you for the rest of your life. Keep that in mind. You have already entered an emotional affair. My suggestion is that you cut contact with your affair partner and confess to your husband. If you guys can't work through this, get a divorce, but cheating is the absolute worst thing that you can do. Redditor 4. Oh my gosh. Do not cheat. No one deserves that psychological and emotional turmoil. Look, if you're that upset, just tell him what you think. If you can come to an agreement, great. If not, leave, but don't cheat. Redditor 5. Cheating sucks. Tell your husband you're at the end of your rope and that you need to come to an agreement or consider ending the relationship. Being unfaithful has a high chance of hurting your husband and will probably cause you a lot of stress, guilt. Not to mention it's just a shitty thing to do to cheat on somebody. Redditor 6. Do you have kids? Think before you make such a selfish decision. I understand your hardship, would say talk to your husband about it. Have you told him that time is a deal breaker for you? And that if this marriage is to continue, then you need to make an effort or be conceited with the fact that you get your time needs met elsewhere. Don't stab your man in the back like this. He deserves better, but that doesn't mean that you should put up with his shit either. Make up or break up. Redditor 7. Divorce before you sleep with another person. Redditor 8. I'm really not understanding how you're interpreting this extreme change in libido as a relationship issue rather than a health issue. Does he masturbate? Is he depressed? Has he even gone through a generic health checkup? Redditor 9. Have you actually tried to talk to your husband about it properly? Maybe he feels the same as you. Maybe he is ashamed of his body or his self-esteem is so low he didn't think he could please you. As a married man who is going through hell right at this moment, The worst thing you can do is to sleep with someone else without having the discussion with your husband. If you have a talk with him and he has some mental issues of his own, at least you know he isn't feeling unattracted to you. Maybe the two of you got so down on yourselves it's got to the point where you're just going through the motions. Maybe the two of you could go through what turns you both on, try new things, tell him that you need the physical love, otherwise you feel you might have no option but to look elsewhere. He will either A, make an effort, tell you he is feeling the same, B, not make an effort and not willing to try anything new, C, say for you to have an open marriage, D, time to call it a day. If you sleep with Joe and your husband finds out, then there is a good chance the marriage will end. Redditor follow up, do not cheat and break your vow. If you didn't want to stay in a sexless marriage, just divorce your husband. What's stopping you from doing it? Redditor 10, I suggest you review the Are Surviving Infidelity, Are Sony After Infidelity, to see the devastation infidelity does to the betrayed. Talk with your husband. I have not seen an open marriage on Reddit work yet. Stop the talk with coworker and talk with husband, it clouding your problems. Redditor 11, file for divorce. Don't cheat. You get caught, you get divorced anyway. Redditor 12, it is not worth the risk. To anyone, you need to get it through your husband's head this issue needs to be addressed, like now. If he won't listen, call a lawyer before you do the horizontal bop with your co-worker. This is dead on serious, and unless he gets some help, it's just going to get worse. Redditor 13, just grow up and get a divorce, Jesus Christ. Redditor 14, separate divorce, then do what you want. Redditor 15, just file. Stop using your married life as a safe haven. You've had years to fix the time and haven't managed it. You're now cheating emotionally on your husband. Truthfully, no good can come from your relationship with your AP as you're both broken people right now and you work together. That just spells future drama. But you do you. Redditor 16, bad idea. Someone will find out, rumors will start, and he will hear them or someone will something. Sit him down and be direct with him about this. If he still won't change, then maybe it's time to part. Redditor 17, don't marry someone so you can cheat on them. Are people this dumb now? Redditor follow up, she didn't marry him to cheat. He stopped having time with her. That changes the landscape. But she should be an adult and end it before cheating. Redditor 18, Jesus Christ lady. There's literally no reason to cheat in this situation. Sit your husband down and have a conversation about it. If he doesn't want to talk, tell him that's not enough and that you are going to get a divorce so you can duck someone else. Once arrangements are made in the ways of your relationship ending, then you can duck someone else. Redditor 19, I would say it's normal to feel this way, but I would suggest asking your husband why he's not having time with you point blank first. Maybe tell your husband that if it doesn't change it's going to make you do something you regret eventually and see how he takes that. Tough one. All the best. Redditor 20, going to go slightly against the grain here. Sexual needs are important to a healthy relationship and lifestyle. If time is important to you and something you need, then it is worth putting value behind and pursuing. Speak with your husband about having your needs, that he isn't interested in meeting them, and discuss the option of you finding that release elsewhere. Tell him that it's not a basic request or an idea you wanted to float by him, but something you need, and you're not going to bury the topic because he doesn't like it. I'm not going to advocate for cheating behind your husband's back. But as it stands, assuming your husband continues to have zero desire to ever have time again, then you have three options ahead of you. 1. He accepts that you will seek physical pleasure outside of the marriage, with whatever limits or boundaries you may discuss. 2. He is 100% against it, demands you never have time again, but neither of you want to consider divorce over the topic. In this case, you go ahead and fulfill your needs as necessary. 3. Divorce over it because time needs are a perfectly reasonable thing to value in life. Sucks, yes, but do what you feel morally obligated to do. Story 2-2. Girlfriend cheated once in past relationship. I'm torn on what to do moving forward. I 27M have been dating my girlfriend 27F for a couple of months now. When we first started dating she mentioned previous relationships, as did I, and we talked about dating expectations. Things of that nature. Normal stuff. Healthy stuff to talk about. Anyways, She mentioned this one guy she dated a few years ago and that it ended really poorly. I assumed he did something to her. Turns out these are her words, did something that reflects poorly on her. At the time I didn't press the issue because I knew she wasn't ready to talk about it. But I knew she cheated on him. I just knew it in my soul and bones. Fast forward 2 months and she finally was able to tell me the full story with full context. I use quotes BC, it isn't full context. It's really just her side of things. But I got exactly what happened. I won't bore with the details, but I won't lie, we were both in tears by the end of the story. Long story short, she completely sabotaged that relationship and ducked some other dude just so she could end things with that guy. He didn't do anything to deserve it. Those were her words, not mine. I asked her if she felt remorse and she said yes. I asked if she takes full responsibility for her actions and she said yes. She's obviously still to this day, 2 or 3 years later, torn about what happened. She knows what she did was wrong. She knows it was a horrible thing to do, but I dunno, I feel completely torn about it. She's a kind and loving person and she really cares about me. But I'm horrified that I'll wake up one day to know she had ducked someone else because she was bored with me or something. I want to be with her but I'm scared. Edit, there's been some truly wonderful advice here. Thank you all. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, she told you about her past up front when the relationship is at the serious point. She tells you honestly how she felt and assigns no blame but to herself. She shows regret and is torn up about what she did. If she was going to cheat, I doubt any of this would have surfaced at all. The fact she told you so early shows she's being vulnerable to you, but also if you leave it's only been a few months so it will hurt less. You should talk to a therapist and get these thoughts out. What you have here I doubt you'll find again and you'll be a fool to let it freak you out. But this is just my opinion. Op answer, I think you're right. It's exactly why I posted here. I feel like I'm just freaking myself out at this point. Thank you. Redditor 2, she's being honest in telling you. I would just file this away in my mind as she has cheated so you know she was at least capable of it before. You ever see any red flags you'll know to pay attention to them immediately going forward. She'll never have the benefit of the doubt being able to say I'd never do that. She's done it before. Maybe she's changed. Give her +1 for honesty, 1 for cheating in the past. Just tell her she gets 0 strikes in this regard with you. Like, I don't trust her very far when it comes to hanging out with guy friends, for example. Any shady phone behavior. You're not crazy for fearing the worst. Redditor follow up. A couple of things. I think everyone is capable of cheating. Maybe circumstances haven't lined up for it to happen yet, but I think everyone is capable of it. I think everyone is capable of great and terrible things. Some of us have more willpower than others, but I think we all have a tipping point. I would do my very best to trust her going forward. Lack of trust is an insidious thing that can eat away at you and your relationship, and even become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you treat her like she's a cheater who's probably going to cheat, she'll start to resent you for it and might start maybe even subconsciously looking for attention from someone who doesn't see her that way. Someone who sees her as the amazing, special person she wants to be. Redditor 3, you can't live your life avoiding pain. It doesn't work. If she cheats, it's going to hurt no matter what you do. If you refuse to ever feel the pain of being cheated on, the only thing you can do is never date. That's not to say that everyone cheats or she will cheat. It's the reality that you will never have the ability to avoid pain unless you just refuse to love. You have 2 choices here. 1. Stay with her and potentially be cheated on. 2. Leave her and potentially be cheated on by someone else. You cannot control these things. You can certainly limit your risk by not being with someone that has cheated before. But you are just lucky you even know that she cheated before. Most would never admit unless forced. Op answer, thank you for your input. I appreciate it a ton. I appreciate your perspective a lot. Redditor 4, I don't really tell people this, but I guess my experience might help. I have been in a very similar situation to your girlfriend. I knew deep down my previous relationship wasn't right for me, but I still loved him and didn't know how to end it or if I 100% wanted to. I ended up cheating on him with a friend, and after he found out I didn't even have the guts to tell him he broke up with me. It's the worst thing I've ever done, and 2 years later I still struggle to treat myself compassionately about it. Having done that and felt that guilt and shame and anger at myself for hurting someone I love, I could just never ever do that to anyone again. I think her telling you about it is really brave of her, and I think your response is so measured and lovely. I really wish you two the best of luck. Redditor follow-up: I love this comment. I hope you can finally find some peace and understand that you're human. People duck up. Honestly? Duck the phrase once a cheater, always a cheater. People make mistakes. They live and they learn. And I hate people that strip people of that decency more than I could hate someone who cheated. Even when on me I was cheated on, I forgave him. Op's girlfriend was open and honest about it. She has obviously learned and obviously is remorseful. She deserves, as do you, more than being boiled down to one mistake. Redditor 5. When I am on the fence on a post, I go back to prior posts. I am on the fence in that the cheating was 2-3 years ago. I am speculating she dated other people since then without cheating. I also think that she was basically a fully formed adult when the cheating occurred, which concerns me. Someone asked, and I did not see a response to the question, but what has she done to make sure she would not put herself in that situation again? Then I ran across a prior post where you state, another facet of her ADHD is her lack of impulse control. She'll get sucked into a task or down a rabbit hole of sorts and just cannot get herself out of it. I try to be as supportive as I can, but I don't want to come off as harsh or aggressive. She currently does not take any medication, at least not on a regular basis, even though she is prescribed the generic form of Adderall. What is she doing to address a lack of impulse control? Did that play a role in her cheating? In yet another post you indicated that she blamed the cheating on her lack of impulse control and her ADHD. Here you indicate that she is taking full responsibility. I am not certain I can reconcile your two posts though, because I do not see her taking full responsibility when she blames it on a medical condition. For example, a mental condition may explain why someone gets upset and treats someone poorly, but it does not excuse it. If her ADHD truly played a role in her history of cheating, then she is not taking responsibility for it because she is allowing it to go untreated. She is doing nothing to correct the situation. You are playing with fire right now. Good luck. Only you can decide what to do, but why would you stay with someone who blames cheating on their ADHD and does nothing to treat it? Op answer: I entirely see your points. She's never cheated on anyone before or after that one relationship. As far as the ADHD goes, she found a psychiatrist here in my city and is currently going to sessions and starting new treatments. Again, this is why I'm torn. I'm torn because I see she wants to be a better person. She's really trying. I'm just worried about getting absolutely obliterated emotionally. Redditor 6, it sounds to me like you need to have another conversation with her about it. She was honest with you, which is excellent, but you obviously need to ask her some more questions. Some possible questions you might ask her: what has changed about you since then that will prevent you from doing the same thing again? What work have you done on yourself to ensure that you don't make the same mistakes again? How will you deal with things differently this time? What assurances can you give me that you won't do that to me? If things in our relationship aren't going the way you want, what will you do this time instead of torpedoing the relationship in that way? Having said all that, though, the words of Maya Angelou come to mind in this situation. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You don't have much invested in this relationship, and now that you know who she is, perhaps you should believe her. Redditor 7, I have been in this situation without the cheating to get out of a boring relationship part, just the cheating. I thought that because my now ex was honest about it so early, it must mean he really regretted cheating and he would never do it again. Boy, was I wrong. I have been in that relationship feeling insecure, jealous, lonely and unhappy for about 1.5 years before I finally found proof that he had lied to direct questions of mine. It broke me. I am so over it now. I can't remember one single positive thing about him or our relationship anymore. I don't understand why I stayed for so long. But I believe that once a cheater shows a capability in a person that you don't want in a partner. Simple as that. And she even did it because she was too scared to end things. Like what the actual fuck? Listen to your gut feeling. Don't reason it into being okay if you don't feel okay on this. A gut feeling is reason enough to decide you don't want to try with her anymore. I just hope you don't get hurt. I am not saying everyone will repeat cheating, but there is always a chance, and she did it deliberately to get rid of someone. Just think about the level of respect you expect of your partner and if this might offer you that. Redditor 8, I asked her if she felt remorse and she said yes. I asked if she takes full responsibility for her actions and she said yes. LOL, what else is she really gonna say in that situation? If she's being honest with you, she's gonna say yes. If she's lying, she's gonna say yes. A past relationship of mine had some similar shit early on. She made a big show of disclosing these faults and acting all remorseful and upset about them. Her taking accountability was just a self-guilt trip that got me too emotionally overinvested into her right away, trying to be the good guy and reassure her and diminish her responsibility for her choice. Oh, anybody can make a mistake, lol. The more she knew I was invested into her, the more comfortable she got in showing more red flag type behavior, cause she knew I'd just accept it and make excuses for it. That relationship turned into a pretty wild experience with borderline personality disorder and a bunch of other crazy shit. There were plenty of signs that I should have bailed, but I made excuses for all of that shit. Don't be that guy. That guy sucks, lol. I want to be with her, but I'm scared. At the beginning of a relationship, anybody can put on a good show. If she's being genuine and authentic, her words and actions should consistently align, and that shit shouldn't be tapering off over time. Genuine and authentic don't have expiry dates. Get rid of your expectations, the idea of her you have in your head, get rid of it. Don't rationalize away any red flags, don't make excuses for bad behavior, and don't use something good to cancel out a negative. A liability is a liability. Don't stress out over who she is, or isn't. She just is who she is, it's on her to show you who that is, and it's on you to believe what she shows you, or not. But don't cling to it. An actress can play a role for a good while, but that role ain't her. Don't go all in on her. Invest a little into her, see what you get back. If at any point, you ain't sure about what you're investing into her, don't fucking double down on it, lol. Let it ride for a bit, see what she does. Redditor 9, long story short, she completely sabotaged that relationship and ducked some other dude just so she could end things with that guy. He didn't do anything to deserve it. Those were her words, not mine. She could not just walk away. Redditor 10, I see that the majority say stay with her. You can trust her. I disagree. The saying once a cheater, always a cheater isn't a saying for no reason. When it comes to cheating, there are two kinds of people, those that have it in them, and those that don't. I personally think your girlfriend's reason is the worst I have heard yet. Was she lonely? No. Was she angry at him? No. Did he abuse her? No. He was a really nice and caring guy, and she chose to break up by destroying him. If she can do that to a guy who didn't deserve it, what will she do if she's angry with you? I would wish her the best of luck, and run for the hills. She has my utmost respect for telling you. But I would still run. Redditor 11, this is a tough one. A lot of people are praising her honesty, which is great, but depending on your past, you might not be able to accept it. And that is okay as well. It's a deal breaker for me. I was dating a woman a while ago that told me her last relationship ended because she cheated. She was honest as well that she cheated because she felt trapped in her previous relationship and didn't know how to get out. She has gone to therapy, done things to work on that side of her, etc. But based on my past marriage dissolved due to infidelity, I was just immediately turned off. It just completely changed the way I felt. Redditor 12, I'm a firm believer that once a cheater, always a cheater. If I was dating someone and they told me in a previous relationship they had cheated, it'd be a deal breaker for me and I'd end the relationship. If someone has it in their personality to cheat, that will never completely just stop. The inclination will always be there because they've done it once before, so they know how to do it again. I'd always have it in the back of my mind that if the going got tough between us and she got positive attention elsewhere, she'd take it further. Obviously you do you, but it'd definitely make me slow things a bit with her. Redditor 13, I say dump her to the streets and continue on. Redditor 14, yikes. So many people in the comments commenting from their own experience and pushing you to accept her. These aren't the people I'd take advice from in this specific topic. I think you already made up your mind though. I understand it's difficult to just quit a relationship when your so hasn't done you any wrong. From my point of view, I'd never date someone like that simply because I know how it feels to be on the other side. People who have it in them to treat someone else they supposedly care about this horribly, specifically as horrendously as your girlfriend, are just another breed of humans. Redditor 15, 1. What work has she done to be different? People cheat because of a character flaw within themselves. There is something missing in their heart, soul and/or mind, some void, insecurity, pain, unprocessed issues within themselves, not with their partner. No one does anything to deserve to be cheated on or some corrupt belief system. Now some of this might be childhood issues around self-image, self-esteem, or maybe horrible learnings from family about what healthy relationships look like. No matter the reason. Unless a person actually goes through professional services such as long-term therapy or special affair recovery courses, then sorry, they aren't a different person. 2. Cheating is a choice. It's a choice to lie. It's a choice to gaslight. It's a choice to keep secrets and fool others. Yes, she hasn't cheated on you and she feels awful about cheating on her ex. But she made that choice to cheat to get out of a problem, rather than choosing to be an adult and have a real conversation breaking up with her ex. So given if she hasn't done the professional work to figure out what character flaw made her choose cheating as a solution to a problem, she hasn't done the work to figure out how not to choose lying to her partner as the solution to a problem. 3. Is she feeling remorse or is she feeling shame for having cheated? Shame is like the worst emotion to have. Shame fuels that part of our mind that says we are a bad person rather than we did a bad thing and hence we deserve to be good for ourselves. If she hasn't done any professional work or read some books to figure out the real reason why she cheated, then she is likely to make decisions in your relationship with her based off the shame she still carries. This means she could cheat on you because she feels that she is a bad person and doesn't deserve happiness with you. Shame will not stop her from hurting you. Yes, she knows she ruined her ex and hurt his heart. But if she is convinced she is a bad person, nothing will stop her doing this to you. She will just fuel her self-fulfilling prophecy that she is awful. Shame will not suddenly give her the ability to communicate her negative feelings in a mature and respectful way in the future. It's not really the cheater's gonna cheat line and then call it a day. It is good she knows that cheating to end a relationship is awful. However, she might thinks as long as her lies aren't cheating, she is a new, different, totally wonderful person. It's more like cheaters are gonna lie whenever an issue appears, and sometimes that lie may be cheating. Maybe you are willing to stick around with her while she reads some books on why people cheat, or while she explores it in therapy. But unless she has done this, I would be very hesitant to continue a relationship with her. She is likely to cheat, or at least lie to you, when things get tough between you both. Redditor 16, just being honest doesn't really change the fact that she cheated for no legitimate reason. According to her, the guy didn't do anything wrong. That's genuinely beyond doing something that reflects poorly on her. It's one thing to cheat cause there's something wrong with a relationship, still terrible, but to cheat purely because she didn't have the courage to just cut things off is legitimately just scummy behavior. Staying faithful isn't that difficult. Think about it this way. If she's willing to cheat on her BF even if he hasn't done anything necessarily wrong, imagine what she might do if you actually have done something wrong. To her, cheating is a viable choice in a relationship. It's not something that she thinks should never ever be done. Let's take a different, albeit a bit extreme example. What she said is basically the equivalent of punching someone for no reason when the easier option would have been to not punch said person. Sure, she may feel remorse later on, but that doesn't change the fact that she did something terrible when there were much better actions to take. Redditor 17, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Look, dude, beautiful women are not a scarce commodity. Don't waste your time on women who duck guys to end a relationship. Also, if you think that this was some kind of one-off, you are mistaken. Even if this was the only time she ducked a guy to end a relationship, that kind of thing doesn't happen in a vacuum. Detach yourself for a moment and realize that this was just one example of a likely pattern on instability. Redditor 18, she will duck some other dude because she is a cheater. It will have nothing to do with you, the relationship, or her boredom. She did you a kindness by telling you. If she didn't get therapy, then she is not ready to be in a real relationship. Your gut is telling you something. You should listen to your gut. Redditor 19, you should be, she already told you who she is. Believe her. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I would walk away. Redditor 20, dude, get out. She is giving you an out and you are not taking it. Now ask yourself, what is the next course of action in her playbook? Also, it will eat at you. Every time she is late coming home, she is out with friends, she is in a bad mood, she is bored, etc. Your brain will not be able to rest. Do you want that kind of anxiety in your life? Get out now when it hurts less, rather than when you are married with kids and half your assets are gone and you are meeting your kids every other weekend.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.